Good evening. We have 3 tables open already, and I'm going to open the 4th one as soon as I can get something to open. There are a few multi-taping regulars, so let's see how it goes. On table 2 we have 2 aggressive players, so it might be interesting. Wow. This is so strange that this guy on my right is known for being very aggressive. He's opened every hand this far on this session. And now it's 2 pairs. On the turn he has the nuts. And he just calls my bet. And on the river he's probably trying to check raise. So now he actually has a hand and he really slow plays it. It's so strange. On table 3... we flopped the nuts and turned the quads, which kind of sucks because it's so hard to revalue, but when he calls the turn he has a flush draw or a straight draw, so he's going to call me on the river if he has the straight. And if he has a missed flush draw he's not giving any value. And now we got... oh, he had a set of queens but he didn't get it in on the flop. Wow. Quite passive. The problem is when he just... oh, now there's too many tables. Let's open 6 tables and choose the best 4. The problem with just calling with the set here is that unless the turn pairs, over half of the deck is going to complete a draw. So then he has to check behind or probably just call if I continue betting. And if the board pairs to king, he's too afraid to put money on the pot. So there aren't that many turns that he's super happy about. So this passive line is bad in my mind. He should have raised me on the flop and get it in. Because I have tons of weaker hands in my range. I was just about to check that, if I remember right, we have around, yes, $187 in our bankroll for tonight. On table 4, well, he's a recreational player, so I'm going to call. And half of a c-bet I don't give much credit, so I'm going to call. And unless a spade comes, I'm going to call the river. Oh, he had a jack. Played it passively. Now on table 1 I should have c-bet the flop. Somehow I got distracted. But once we check the flop, we shouldn't make any moves on the turn. On table 2 I'm not defending my hands against this Grease maniac when he's short stacked. Because he just wants to gamble. On table 4 we have a nut flush draw and nut gut shot. What we want to create here is a big pot. So I'm just going to call and hope these guys come along. And if the money goes in here, he raises, he shoves, we are happy to get it in. We have over 33% equity easily. He checks the turn, which means that the best hand he can have is a set. It's a limped spot, so he can definitely have 6s and 4s in his range. But if I bet I want him to lay down, he is overpair, and I'm not sure if he's a recreational player. He will lay it down, so I'm just going to check. I beat his draws with my pair of 7s some of the time. But he pots the flop on a linked pot, so it seems that he has a hand. this table 2 is very, very aggressive. The stacks are getting in all the time. Interesting. If you have any questions about PLO poker or whatever, as usual, please use the chat. I'm more than happy to answer you. We have a around 2-minute delay for security reasons. So if you or when you are commenting about hands, please say which table it is and what was my hand. So when you ask, I can open the replay and find my hand so we can talk about it. I'm going to check back here on table 2 because I don't want to be check raised. Yellow means an aggressive person. Oops, I made a min raise on table 3. And he calls the turn. If he calls a turn with overpair, he's not going to fold it. Yeah, he had aces. He wouldn't have folded them on the river. So that's why I don't barrel the river. We have a nice double-suited rundown, but we don't want to create 4-way multi-way pot with these hands, so we 3-bet for isolation on table 1. And let's see, it works. Now the hand plays pretty much itself. When he 4-bets, we give him credit for aces, and we have a premium hand against aces, so we call. We sort of hit the flop. We need 25%. We have a flush draw and backdoor straight draws. So I'm just shoving here. And he has aces, and we don't hit the first round, but we hit the second round. So yeah, I think from the pre-flop the hands play themselves. I have to 3-bet the hand most of the time, and he has to 4-bet, and the money has to go in on the flop. So on this hand, pretty much neither of us won anything in the long run. Of course, it's plus EV for him from pre-flop, but some other day the hands go around, and I'm going to make a really small inducement on table 2 and hope this aggressive guy bites on it, but he doesn't. Checking is also an option here, but I don't think I would check if I have a draw here, so it's so suspicious. Käsittämätön jätkä. It's Finnish for, I don't know what it's in English. What is käsittämätön? I don't know. Someone can translate it. He's asking what's my favorite thing in poker. The thing is that I like these IQ tests where you have all these sort of riddles and you have to logically think what is the next item or number or whatever. All these logical puzzles. I really love them, and poker is a puzzle to me. When I'm in a hand, it's not a puzzle that I have to solve. I'm facing a river decision, I have to put up all the pieces I have and create something out of it. So that's what I really like in poker, is that you have to think and you have to find the solution. And Julos Pro is asking, did you really mean what you said in Player's blog? I suppose he's referring to Finnish blog. And I'm not sure, but I probably mean it if I have said it. But I'm not sure what you are referring to. What did I say? Here, 7-7 guy who has played only one hand in 15 hands calls my flop and bets the turn. I would bet my grandma that he has a flush, or at least a set here. So I'm not giving him any money. So, US Pro, what did I say? I think I know what I said, and I think I stand behind it. But that's suspicious. Table 3 standard. If you don't know what to do, make a c-bet. Makes your life a lot easier. When he calls, weak made hands, queen 10, flush draws, all kind of stuff. He's not going to fold on the turn. So I really have to decide here if I want to barrel turn and any non-spade reverse. But I have a 9 and I have a gut shot, so I'm checking back. And he checks. Pretty much whatever he has, he is beating me most of the time. And 58-0 is probably not going to fold a straight. Yeah, he had a flush. And we were ahead on the turn, but he made a flush but didn't get any money, so everything is good. Let's see, I'm opening the lobby. Do we have any better tables? There's one good. Out of position, I always 3-bet for full pot. And in position, I can 3-bet smaller, but out of position, if I 3-bet smaller, I give more edge to the guy in position. Because the more you have left behind, the more you gain advantage from the position. But if the SPR goes down, then position doesn't really matter. And here he raises me. Oh, I'm just going to call. Wow. On the outside table, guy calls with the flush draw and aces. Didn't 3-bet preflop, which is super strange. But on the river I check call and he has the nut flush. But yeah, he is 44-22. And he's not 3-betting good aces, which is really strange. Wow, he raised me with the bluff. Have to make a note because he's so tight player. On table 2 we have double suited double pair. We are of course calling the 3-bet. And we don't hit the flop, so we give up. And if I had aces there and I want to 3-bet them, I'm definitely 3-betting full pot. So yeah, as a standard, out of position I 3-bet for full pot, and in position I 3-bet smaller against players that I need to balance against, or I want to make a wider 3-betting range. I don't know if Elon Pro is referring to, I said something about Texas Hold'em. Well, I haven't played Texas Hold'em in 6 years, 8 years, or something like that. So I might have said something that is out of date, but it's not that much. Where have all the fishes gone? $11-4. Super nit. Wow. Where does all these nits come from? Wow, he's raising me again. It's so strange. He has raised me. This is the second time, or even third time. I'm going to call, because last time he shut down when I called his bluff. Of course, now we hit our cut shot, which makes our life easier. And I really think he has ace-10 or full house of some kind here. Because last time he didn't continue with his bluff. And now he shoves the river. So I give him credit for full house. And he has 2/3 of a pot, which means that it's not a great bluff. It's a really desperate bluff. And to have bluffs in his range, he needs to have some kind of air on the flop and flush draw on the turn and desperate bluff on the river. So I'm going to fold this. And suppose he has full house really often. But yeah, he has raised twice on the flop. Which is strange. If there's some problems with the sound or picture quality, please let us know so we can do something about it. Wapakan is asking me to repeat my answer. Well, of course. The answer is that yes, I 3-bet for full pot out of position as a standard. Because the higher the SPR is, so the more you have in your stacks post-flop, the stronger the position is. And the smaller the SPR is, the less advantage position gives. So out of position, I don't want to play rivers. Out of position, river sucks. So I'm 3-betting full pot. So on the flop, it's pretty much, it's either stab and fold or get it in. And in position, I can three-bet smaller because I have position. Tempo 3, really standard, but he donks. Wow. Last week we had a similar situation, and he was from Finland too, and we tried to be creative. I really don't think he has a trips or full house when he donks. So I'm going to make a sort of 750. I'm raising 850. And he probably shoves. It doesn't work. Every time on the coaching it doesn't work. Outside coachings it does work. Well, it works now. Woo! Finally. Because if I say that, yeah, when I do it outside the coachings it works, no one believes me. But yeah, it's nice to see it works. Because when he donks the flop, it's so hard to imagine that he has a full house. If we have history, he might donk because he knows that I don't think he would donk. So it's sort of leveling off my levels. But I don't think he's unknown. He's donking and thinking that I put him on a weak hand so he can get a lot of value. Wow. He raises me on the turn for full pot. And he wouldn't do it with jack high flush. Probably making a hero fold here. Because when he raises me here, it's either a blocker bluff or he has the full house. Not the full house, damn it. Not flush. And he's 17-6, of course, it's small sample. But he doesn't seem to be that aggressive. Of course, it might be the blocker bluff and he just made me fold the hand, but I'd much rather have one evidence of him making a blocker bluff before stacking off there or calling. If he fires the river, I'm giving up. But he doesn't. Woo! Kilospro is asking if I'm uninjured, how many push-ups I can do. I have to be honest, I don't know. I haven't tried or counted my tries ever. Some around 5 to 10 years ago, I have made as much push-ups as I can in trainings, but I didn't count them. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I have in our American football team, I have the smallest arms. And I'm freaking line player. I should have huge arms. But I don't. I have, these are like, I don't know what naru is in English, but my hands are weak. When I was active with my sports taekwondo, I trained my lower body all the time in the gym and running and making jumps and that kind of stuff, but my arms they are super weak, so I don't know if I can make 30, 40. The problem is that I have some extra weight, which makes it harder. if I was any normal size, I can make a lot. What I know that few years ago, around 5 years ago or something like that, I made 12 push-ups with one hand. We were in Jyväskylä. Oh, he raises me. We have open-ender and middle set, so I'm just getting it in. And if he has 7-8, we have decent equity. And he has, oh, damn! He has set of 10s that he is slightly overplayed. Well, we got lucky and got one back. What happened here? Yeah, he had a flush. Here on this hand, he 3-bets me and he has less than a pot-sized bet on the flop. So when he shoves, we call with 2 pairs and don't hit this time. So I know that 2007, around 5 to 8 years ago, I made 12 push-ups with one hand. And since then, I have more power in my upper body, so I suppose I could do more. Not sure. Yours Pro is referring to a very old topic that I said. I think it's really interesting, and it wasn't the first hand of VSOP main. Oh, we won a big pot. Woohoo! I open Fondragon, he 3-bets, he cold calls, I call, I flop the nuts. He bets, I raise, he shoves 3 pairs and doesn't check out. So the original question was that you are in the main event final table bubble. So 10 players, 1 drops, and you go to November 9. And there's someone raising, someone shoving, someone cold calling a shove. And you have aces. And few of the players, or all of the players, have bigger stacks than you. So the question is that there's like 3 players all in with around equal stacks. So it's really, really likely that someone of those 3 is going to drop. So if you fold, you have pretty much guaranteed November 9 spot. And you had aces, and do you want to go into 4-way all-in with the risk of bubbling the final table or getting dropped from the November 9? Or do you fold aces pre-flop and take currently November 9 spot? And of course in EV wise, of course you're crediting you have aces, but how much you really have EV going 4-way all-in compared to that you have the guaranteed November 9 spot, which creates a lot of sponsorship money, interviews, all kind of stuff, and of course it's a once in a lifetime situation. So it's an interesting spot that would you fold aces or do you always go? It's like you have to compare live EV to money EV. And it's not my question, but some original question is that you have saved 1 year your own money to go to VSOP main event, and first hand you have aces. And then there's kind of situation that 2 players are all in the first hand, so you know that one of them have aces and one of them probably has kings. So do you get it in with aces on the first hand? or do you want to enjoy the moment for a bit longer? Interesting hit on table 2. We hit the top set and a straight flush draw open-ender. I don't think there's much reason in raising, because if he has higher flush, he beats us. If he doesn't, only way we get money is letting him bet to us. He's not beating us, but and I'm probably going to call if he bets. He bets so small that he's not shoving here, so yeah, he might have the nut flush often, but he might have like a set of 8s or 7 too. So I'm cleaning this river off, and he has the nut flush. But he made a really bad bet on the turn, because if he thinks that I have set in my range, when he bets half a pot, he gives me straight odds to draw my full house, which means that he doesn't win any money with his bet. And if the river pairs, I bet half a pot, I don't think he's folding ever. So when you have a nut flush, don't bet half a pot on the turn. On table 1, it goes really our way. We hit the nuts, we turn the nuts, we river pretty much the nuts, and we bet, and German guy folds. Yeah, I have talked about the first hand, because it's sort of the same situation that if there's 3 players all in, do you want to get it in with aces? But I have posted a question that says it's a final table bubble. Point Real might raise me here, like, because Queen 6-5 is type of board that I don't often hit hard. Probably most of my range is overpairs or ace-queen type of hands, and I really can't stand a raise. So these are interesting boards against regulars, because then at some point, if I have a weak made hand, I'm not betting it. I'm checking back because I don't want to be raised. And here, it's so strange. He doesn't represent anything. I'm going to go to see what he has. And well, that makes sense. What happened to Mr. Newhouse? I haven't seen these years. Do we have anything here? We have a weak flush draw. Blah, nothing more. Here we have a 3 bet. I'm actually going to fold because this hand is not going to flop anything super strong almost ever. This board we have a top pair and gut shot, awkward situation, not sure what to do. And this hand just creates problems. Here on table 3 I am going to check call the river, because when he calls the turn he shouldn't have straights that often. Wow, what the hell did he have? Oh, gut shot. And calls the turn. Jesus Christ. Yeah. There's so much money in PLO. Oh, we have a crease player that loves aces. I have to give him a green color. This Blocker Newton didn't three-bet aces on the outside table. Kings, ace, king. I'm going to call. And we hit gut shot and pair, so we get it in and don't worry about it that much. And we don't make our hand. But we have decent equity, 47% on the flop. So this time he had aces. Wow, it's so strange that sometimes they three-bet aces, sometimes they don't. It's probably where the moon is. Here, Israeli guy raises me. I have the nuts. What to do? I'm just going to shove. If he has a flush draw, he's not folding it. And we got a flush draw on the turn. Oh, he calls the turn. Wow. Now I can min-bet my river. And he calls the river. Christ. I shouldn't be laughing. He probably has reasoning for what he's doing. Oh, I have the straight here. I have the nut straight, which is great. Here, it's so strange that if he's going to call the river with 8, why doesn't he just shove the flop? I mean, come on. The turn, when he calls my check raise, he has a set or a flush draw. Or small straight. I'm going to bet half for bot. Sort of a blocker. Did he have 5-2? No, he had a set this time. Because when he bets bot on the flop, he has something, and I really don't think that 57-3 would bet a flush draw on the flop. He has to have something else beside his flush draw. On table 2, we just call with aces, and it's a great flop for us. People often see bet here, but now I have to bet it just to protect my hand against some random pocket pairs and flush draws. And sometimes I get value from kings. Of course, it sucks when there's king on the river. I think I have to check fold. Wow! I mean, come on. This guy is a regular and he calls me on the turn with pocket nines. If he thinks I'm bluffing, why not just min raising? And now he gives a free shot for then jack or king. Or probably ace beats him on the river. So, yeah. He's a regular, but he made a huge mistake in my mind. Here we have a flush draw and gut shot. And he pots it. And we make a straight on the turn. Let's see. He probably puts us on a flush draw often. So we might get the money in against some overpairs or stuff like that. And he just calls the turn instantly, so he doesn't have Doesn't have the straight, so I think we can shove the river. He either has a bluff catcher or don't, and if we were with the bluff, we would shove the river. And now he goes to 10, and this is something he should have thought on the turn. What to do on the river if he doesn't make his hand, or his hand doesn't improve and I shove. If Curry-chan raises me, I'm getting it in. I have the flush draw open-ender and the top pair. And the reason is I have the top pair, which means I have showdown value against some of his draws. I'm going to fold. Yeah, you love them. Of course, now our EV went up as much as our winnings. But when he has, I think it's in one of the coachings, the opponent had 14% on the turn, and he was left with like 12 cents or something like that. And he made his 4 outer. And our EV or winnings went down like shit, because we had like the second nuts on the river, and of course we called his 12 cents. Here on table 2, I'm just bluffing the river, making the stab. When I bet into 3 people, it looks strong. But when he calls, he has 11-0. Probably something. Well, we have the flush draw, and if he calls the flop, he's not going to fold. And I give him credit. There's some picture. I don't know if I can watch it. Who is Fatima? Doesn't look like me much. Oh, he's some Hollandaise player. On tempo 3, I bet, no one bet the flop, so I bet my big draw on the turn. And he goes, I'm going to bet small, because if he has trips, he might call me. Or if he has small flush, he might call me. Or if he's like small playing aces, he might call me. So I think in his, when I bet small, his calling range has more of a weak hands than better hands. And it's basic poker concept. The bigger you bet, the stronger hand the opponent needs. Like here, when I bet like half a pot on the river, he can call me with wide range. If I pot the river, he can't call me with pocket kings. And he's probably not going to call me with queen 7 type of hand. So when you're thinking about your bet sizing on the river, if you're value betting, you always have to put your opponent into a range, or what does his calling range is made of. And the stronger his range is, or the more polarized his range is, the bigger you can bet. I'm not sure if my washing machine works, because I can't hear anything. Normally the sound comes all the way to the coaching. Oh, pretty China. It's the outside table. The flop percentage is 19, but there's 2 green players, so strange. Well, this is once again just table hopping. Favorite finish is Jari Litmanen. Woo! Yeah, he's making a call down with top and bottom 2 pairs, which is sort of type of play that, unless you have a real good reason, I don't like it, because from the flop he has to play casing claims, and if I bet the river, it's really hard spot for him. But even on the turn he has just queen 4. Of course he had the cut shot, but 2 flush draws. And he just makes the call down. So against those players we are making a lot of money, because when we hit the hand we get so much value. They are often drawing dead on the flop. The Finnish guy plays aggressively and sucks out. Table 2 we flop the nuts, which is nice. Let's see, we don't get any value from the green player. That sucks. Well, table 4 is bad. Here on table 2, people often like to get to multi-way pots with suited ace and think that if they flop the flush draw, it's good. The problem is that you are not going to flop the flush draw often enough. And even when you do, here I have 3 hearts in my hand, and playing flush draw out of position, especially in multi-way pots, it kind of sucks. It's so hard to play it so it doesn't look like a flush draw. Of course, now when I folded, I would have had a pretty nice flop and turn. And this guy never has a straight here. Oh, and he folds. Wow. So when he calls the turn, he's never calling the turn with pair ace queen. And I'm just trying to find some good tables. Where is Amnestia? Table 4. Yeah, it's gone bad. We really need to find the green players. Oh, there's a brand new table. I'm going to make it here. Wolverine is asking, what do I consider about good donk betting percentage? Donk betting in PLO is really interesting, because there are players that donk bet a lot, and there are players like me who don't donk bet almost at all. And I think it always goes with check raising, because I like to check raise with wider range. I like to check raise with total air on some boards. I like to check raise with semi-bluffs and so on. So instead of donk betting, oh, he's a calling station, I'm going to bet the river. So instead of donk betting, I like to check raise with wide range and balance my flop range. The problem in donk betting is that you isolate yourself against a strong range. And when you do that, you don't get any value from the bluffs of your opponent. So basically, when you have a strong hand and you donk bet, you create a situation where opponent's range probably has a lot of equity against you, and you don't get any value from his bluffs. While with check raising, you get value from his bluffs. And as you are out of position with check raising, you create often a situation where you have to play flop and turn. When you check raise, then you can effectively shove on the turn or get most of your stack in on the turn. But if you don't bet opponent calls on the turn, you make a barrel, he calls, you still have to play the river out of position, and that's the situation I don't want to be. So normally I don't donk bet. The exceptions are when the opponent is passive, he has low c-bet percentage, and I have a hand, and I have a thought that he's going to check back the flop often. So if I think he's going to check back the flop often, I'm donk betting to build up the pot. Wow. 107 raises me on the flop. This is the part where PLO kinda sucks, cause would he raise a draw? Flop only 2 out of 10. But I block all the sets. But the problem is that if I want to stack off, I need like 45% equity. And against draws I have around that. But against his sets I'm crushed. Well, yeah, I'm going to avoid it. Against more regular or more thinking player, I would have stacked off there. But against this guy, I'm not. And another exception for donk betting is that if we have small SPR, so the opponent is shorty, I think we are talking about single raised pot. Boundary is check raising me on the flop. I can't improve my hand, so I'm going to actually call and see what he does on the turn, because I have the nut flush blocker. I don't think he's going to get crazy unless he has a hand. And when he barrels the turn, I think he has a full house. And the bet sizing really looks like for value, so I'm just giving up. If he's bluffing me on the flop, he's going to stop on the turn. But without any reads, I think folding is an option, and then we just have to think, how did we end up in that spot? And if he raises a lot on those boards, then we start to check back. Or we bet, but we have a plan what we do if he check raises us. 106 folds 57% so far. Of course, it's on a few hands, but that's all the information we got. So we have to play by that. So definitely c-betting every flop and making instant profit. And on table 3, I'm making the c-bet. Just to make my life easier, if I check, then I'm going to create a lot of problems for myself. And when he min raises, yeah, he might be bluffing. He probably has something and I don't have anything. Oh, he had a full house. Well, of course, if you play almost every hand, you're going to hit sometimes. Three combination of sets. Yeah, we block the sets. But the thing is that he's 105. So yes, he's bad, but he's also really passive. And we don't have any more information there. And I don't just want to call. Because unless the board pairs, there's going to be a straight on the river and I have to guess. And I don't want to stack off because he's just going to have a set in my mind so often. And against his wraps, we are flipping. So when the situation is that in the best case scenario we are slightly plus EV, but in the worst case scenario we are hugely minus EV. I'm at a fault. We haven't invested a lot in the pot. And as I said, if he is more thinking player, then he has more weaker hands in his range. But when 105 player raises you, you have to give some credit. I'm going to value bet the river against smaller two pairs. And he just fold. And he's never raising me with ace. And I don't think he's ever raising me with ace jack. So his range, his draws, especially wraps or full houses. And he's not an aggressive guy. At least what we have seen him so far. And he never has air when he raises ace jack 9 board. So yeah, it's close, but I think it's minus EV to shove against this guy. Based on the information we had on him at that point. It might be that on the next 15 minutes we can see something different. But we didn't have that information then. Well, it's definitely not the strongest hand possible. It's a hand where we flip against his range. It's just when you stack off with 3 pairs against calling stations often enough, you can see that they actually have a really strong hand often. When they get it in on the flop on SPR of like 20, then they definitely have a strong hand. They don't stack off lightly. Oh man, what a hand. He opens with call, we flop the nuts, we check, he doesn't see bet, which is strange because he has only air. So he should see bet this hand, but he doesn't. So on the turn he picks up the flush draw, we bet, he calls, and on the river he makes his backdoor flush and we have to check call. So yeah, he got really lucky there. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Well, what does calling benefit for us? In that hand, when the flop is ace jack 9, we have 3 pairs, it's rainbow flop. If there's a flush draw on the flop, I think then we can shove because he has flush draws in his range. But if we call his check raise, what does it benefit us? We can bluff on, even if the straight comes, he has a set, he's not folding. So we cannot create folding equity on any turns or rivers. And if we think we are ahead, why not get it in on the flop? So calling is, yeah, it's an option, but how does it benefit us? I think when we call, if the turn pairs, it might actually kill the action. His VPIP 100, pre-flop is 13, then at the moment he was 105. So yeah, he's not any aggressive guy who's going to triple barrel us. He's fucking calling station, classical one from the movies. So what happens that if turn is an ace, he might actually fold his draw if he was somehow raising a draw, which shouldn't be the case. So lower SPR, yeah, we stack off, but at that moment the pot was, let me find it. Yeah, we have $27 behind, flop is 1.3. So it's like an SPR of 20. And I just don't want to stack off on this SPR with the hand that is almost flipping against his range or is actually slightly behind. If this guy checks, I would have a bet the river. But when he bets, I'm just going to fold. Do I always see bet when I have nothing? Unless I have real reason of doing something else, yes, I see bet when I don't have nothing, because it often the opponents are not thinking on really deep levels. So often if I check back the flop, it's really hard to represent the nuts. And if I check back with nothing as an idea to represent something on the turn and reverse, it's really hard if I check back the flop. Here this guy raises us, and do we have the nuts? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we do. So I think I'm just going to shove it here. And he probably has 7, 8 too. Yes. And house wins. So as I said, the standard line, unless you have a reason to do something else, you should c-bet. Because when you c-bet the flop, you can represent almost anything on the turn. And on table 2, pretty standard turn call, river check. So you can definitely check back or check the flop, but instead of c-betting, you really need to know the reason why you do it. I really don't know what Skukupurpatins means. Probably means he's spaz out. I don't think he's ever raising with total air. Yeah, well, 1 out of a million times he is, but more often he has a draw than he is making really stupid raise with air. And when he has a draw, pair in turn can slow down the action. Well, he's not automatically going to bet the turn and river. If he has a set and turn or river completes a straight, he's not going to bet it often. But still, I find it really hard to put us in ahead of his range. I totally understand what you guys are thinking. We have 3 pairs, we are blocking all the sets. Someone, fish, is raising us, but I base this on my experience when these VPIP 96 pre-flop raise low. When these guys raise you, they have a strong hand. And my estimation is that he is going to have set there often. No matter how much we block it. Well, some textures are, but then I need to have an information that my opponent is aggressive one and he's going to fight a lot on those textures. So then I have a reason of not making c-bet. So there's not going to be that many opponents on PLO50 and over that are constantly fighting on the boards that hit their range more than my range. They don't think that deeply. There are a few, but most of the field is never going to do that. Yeah, the smaller rate with the split hands, we lost 3 cents there, I think. That's one great thing about PokerStars is that they have the minimum rate on split pots. When you compare it to some other sites that they fall 6% from split pot, it kind of sucks. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Let's say the board, we are playing Texas Hold'em, and the board is Ace King Queen Jack 10 Rainbow. So the board plays, no one can beat the board. Pot is $1 and it's a heads up pot, and the other one overshoves for what is the cap of 5%, 3, I don't know, $100. Let's say he shoves for $100. What would you do? You know it's going to be a split pot. There's $1 in the pot and the opponent shoves for $100. It's interesting that actually you have to fold, or you have to fold. Because if you call, you're going to lose more on the rep than you would win from the pot. You always have to remember that if the board is scary for you, it's often scary for your opponent. And if you start to just check fold on these Queen Jack 10 boards, then of course opponent, if he sees that, he's going to attack your checks quite often, so then you have to adjust by going to check raise, which leaves the option that you are actually giving a free cards to them and not much good stuff happens. But yeah, if you have information on your opponent, then you change your standard lines. The way I see poker is that you have these sort of standard lines that you make in a vacuum or against totally unknown players. But as soon as you have any information, it can give you a reason to deviate from your standard lines. Three bet aces on table 1. What have I done? It is a 3-bet pot. This looks like a 3-bet to me. Double suited aces, I 3-bet them always from any position. Well, not always, 99.9% of the time. There are some exceptions. I kind of hate this on Fridays that I wait until I get good tables, and as soon as I get to tables, they are going to die. And I don't know what has happened, because around the spring or around the summer, I remember that we had some pretty nice sessions where we actually could find good tables and sit on them for the whole evening. And now it's just impossible. Good hand on table 2. Let's see what happens. And flop is pretty horrible, but yeah, it's a heads up pot, so I'm making half a pot c-bet, and he's definitely going to fold around half of the time. But when he calls the flop, he probably has something. Yeah, well, I can pot size, it doesn't really... I think you're right, I should have pot sized it. I just made it. Yeah, Probably pot sizing is good here because he's shorty. We wouldn't 3-bet him without some kind of showdown value. So yeah. Should have bought it. My mistake. Hello to Click Lion. Finnish Pithy is 3-betting here. We have a decent hand, we are definitely calling. And flop is pretty horrible. Queen 7-5. It's always interesting that people play those kind of garbage hands and then they just hit jet spawn, yeah. That's the way it goes. When they hit it one time, they remember it so long that they will keep playing those garbage hands and kind of forget that in the long run they are just going to lose so much. Like here, donking with the queen is kind of something that... Why would he donk here? When he donks, I'm going to fold my heir and I'm going to continue with the range that pretty much beats him. So I don't get it here. We are probably just going to check raise the flop. It's so Troy board. Anything from 3 to jack completes a straight. And at PLO25, I'm just check raising for full pot on these boards. If it's a lockdown board, type of board that people either hit or miss, then I'm raising smaller. But on these Troy boards, I'm just raising for pot. And now what he's thinking is that I might have draws in my range. He doesn't know what to do. And he shoves with the nuts. And our hand holds up. Or held up, how do you say? And he had a set of 7, so yeah. I think with middle set, it's really hard for him to fold, so why would he think that long? I think it's a standard to get it in, because I might have semi, or I have semi bluffs in my range. So he can fold second nut. And let's bring up this table. Here the board is pretty bad, but opponent folds 73%. And he raises me again, so wow. He's definitely raising a lot, or he's just hitting a lot. Not sure which one is it. I'm going to fire the turn when I hit a wrap. And then on the river we have a situation that we have to think that he calls the flop, so he probably has queen jack type of hand, or he has the flush draw. Would he's such a tight player that I don't think he's betting his flush draw, so I really thought that, can I value bet if he has two pairs type of hand? And he had just the top pair. Wow. Like, insta-calls me on the turn with two pairs. I'm not going to give him green because he is VPIP 13. I don't really want to play with him. Slovenian guy min donks the flop, then I raise, he min raises me. That really looks like a flush. Congratulations, sir. You won $1. On table 3, can we value bet the river? I think we can. Of course, he has smaller flush in his range, but he has a lot of two pairs and sets too, and people are so often calling the river, like here. He did. And he had a straight. So that's the reason why at the micros I'm triple barreling the flush against the board pairs. Because this is what people do. They just don't want to believe. And the search for perfect table continues. Kyyberi opens 10% from under the gun, which is really tight range. But we have a lot of nut potential in our hand, so definitely calling, and flop is really dry. I would suppose he c-bets. Oh, he doesn't. Let's see, the turn is pretty good for our hand. We have pair nut flush draw and a nut cut shot. So I think we have around 30%. So we almost have the odds against this guy. And we definitely have implied odds if we hit our hand. And oh man. There's going to be a side pot of $50 where we have only 30% equity. And around 25 because 3 and 8 of clubs is out. I really think that we have to fold. If we all had equal stacks, it might be closer, but now it isn't. And he had a set and he's just overplaying two pairs. The problem there was the sideboard against 100% sure set. This is the Finnish guy who just overcalls his trade, so I'm definitely betting this turn. And if he raises, I'm just going to give up. And on the river, I think I'm going to value bet. If he has ace jack, he's probably calling me. And when he calls the turn, he shouldn't have a straight or set. Of course, he might have set. These type of player often just calls the set on the flop. They are tricky. They are trying to trap. And then on the turn, they suddenly realize that, oh my god, there's straight possibility. Probably should have c-bet on table 4, but jack then with the suit is... It's kinda bored that it's so easy to hit something on it. And they are both 0-0 players so far, so I'm checking behind, and if they both check the turn, then I'm betting. And I think they're going to fold a lot. Of course, I can't represent anything strong, but if they are 0-0, they don't really care what I do represent. And I'm just continuing trying to find any decent tables. Yeah, table 1 there's this one guy, but then there's 4 regulars. And he's set out, so I'm taking off. Now we just wait until something interesting happens. For the Finnish viewers, please remember that on this week's Friday we don't have the normal PLO evening. We are going to play PLO tournaments. Not sure what's going to happen, but it should be at least entertaining. And on next week, we don't have the English PLO evening at Wednesday, because I have a knee surgery. On Tuesday, I don't think I'm able to move myself into place to host the coaching on Wednesday. So at least the Wednesday coaching is cancelled for the next week. And what comes to the next week's Friday coaching, I'm not sure. I'm going to inform you on the Tuesday evening if we have it or not. So Wabakan is asking, what does my orange color mean? It means regular player. He doesn't have to be good. I have this blue for kind of tight aggressive players that I don't want to play against. Like something that I think that I don't have edge against. I know he's a good player. I can make money out of him, or it's pretty much EV0. So then I give them blue color. I haven't been giving blue colors often, like 2 or 3 times. But We have the second nuts, so we are definitely bet folding the river. And actually, if he raises, I'm going to talk myself to call often, because it really looks like a blocker bluff then. Oh, it doesn't. He would have raised the turn. Yeah. Check raise on turntable 1. You mean when I have the nut flush draw and the cut shot? Yeah, it's... Well, it's not because when he check raises that big. Or who did check raise? This guy check raised with 2 pairs, which is super strange. On the outside table we have trips on the turn, but he makes the full house on the river. He had whooping 9 outs, 5 outs and 6s, yeah, well 9 outs minus 1, 8 outs maximum. But happens. It's often people think or they feel that those kind of spots that was on table 1 with the nut flush draw and cut shot, people often think that they are really hard spots, but I think they are one of the easiest ones in PLO, because you can solve the problem with pure math. Because when pretty much both of the opponents open up their hands, ooh, I call it because I think my flush draw is live, which means that I get the odds for calling. Yeah, there aren't many pool players in my games. So the kind of spot that we had there on table 1, you can solve the problem when you know pretty much what your opponents have. You have all the information you need. So you can solve the problem with pure maths. And those are one of the easiest spots. You can, if you are not sure what to do on the table when you're playing, after the session you can pretty much see what was absolutely the best decision possible. While some other spots you don't have all the information, you have to estimate stuff, and then you don't know if you have made the right estimations. So every time when you can solve the puzzle with just the math, it's a great spot. On the outside table, on the flop we call with the wrap. Turn, it's a rainbow, we have the nuts. I'm just going to call, because I don't have to be afraid of anything but pairing rivers. And when I check, he never thinks I have the straight. Of course, when he bets, we probably have a split pot here, but yeah, we do. But well, we were free rolling him. But it's one of the rare spots where I don't raise my nuts. Yeah. If there's no flush draw on the board, I don't have to protect my hand that much. Interesting spots continue. This guy is super aggressive. We have the nut flush draw, top pair, and the nut gut shot. Do we want to raise or do we want to call? We want to call, we want to create a big multi-way pot. And he just folded. I'm not sure if he had... Probably he doesn't have anything, so he would have folded if I raise him. And now he left the table. And Zoom is green, but he is 2716. This means that he is type of regular, but he makes bad call downs. Like he overcalls with over pairs or pocket pairs or weak made hands. Typical mistake is like board is queen 7 and I triple barrel and he calls down with kings, which is bad in my mind. Unless he has information, but if he doesn't have information, it means it's his standard line. And that's bad standard line, in my opinion. On table 4, I chose to play pretty straightforward, 78-33 or only few hands, but we have a calling station that I want to be with in hand. So I call and try to bring this one on, and when we totally miss the board, I'm not going to bluff these aggressive players on the flop with air. Because like raising every hand, he's just looking for an excuse to get the money in and play big pots. So they are definitely not bet folding a lot of flops. Let's see if they can get the money in. Because this guy is never folding. So if Stefan shoves, he should be ahead of aces. Otherwise it's really bad shove. It's just gambling. He folds. We have around 15 minutes. We have an inside wrap and not flush draw. I'm going to put it on table 1. About turning my hand into a bluff. Oh, it's the different table. When the SPR is less than 1, it's often... Opponent would not fold if he had the nut straight. Even when the board pairs on the river, they are just not going to fold. So I'll probably try it, but I don't think it's going to be successful that often. How do we play aces? I think we are just calling. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. 7-5 deuce deuce. That's something that I really don't understand. and of course he's just an aggressive maniac. But other than that, why would you 3-bet out of position with this trash? If you want 3-bet with wide range, you can do it. You can 3-bet like 30% of the hand, and still you don't have to 3-bet this kind of garbage. So it really, I really don't know why he should do it. But yeah, the way he's playing, he's not thinking. Playing one table and probably having a beer, having fun. Tries to win every hand. And here, regular raises as we have a set, so definitely we are calling here. And on the outside table we lost, we tried to bluff a recreational player on a paired board and he called with the straight. And table 2, I'm giving him a lot of respect for the straight. There's 2 straight possibilities. Wow. When this guy calls the donk, I'm actually going to fold. Otherwise, I would have called this guy's donk. But when, oh, now he folds. Idiot. Why would he call the flop and then fold when he bets like a third of the pot on the turn? This regular is idiot, and as you can see, PLO25 regulars, even if their pre-flop stats are sort of solid, their post-flop is horrible. So we have around 10 minutes. Let's see if we can find anything interesting going on. Of course, it's the time of the evening when you can estimate our profit. Do we make a profit or are we not? I have no idea. We have won on some tables, but we have also lost a few bigger pots on the outside tables when the opponents have hit their hands on the river. So, like last week, I had a good feeling that, yeah, we had a great session, making some money and everything going our way, and then when we opened the craps, we were down 2 buy-ins. Wow, funny check raise here. Not much to say. I'm waiting. We have sort of a hand on table 4. I'm going to 3-bet this shorty. And he folds. That wasn't interesting. Steven celebrated a little bit too early. That's what you get. You haven't won it until you have won it. Wow. He's neat, 16 and 7, almost 200 hands. Yeah, this table 1 is really bad. I'm going to close it right away. Uh, 51-6. He's a friend. 17 and 10. Well, he's a neat in my books. It means that when he has a red color, it means that he's playing a short amount of hands, which means it's really hard to get a lot of value from him. PT Race is kind of tricky player, so I'm going to check back here. And if he plays a turn, I'm going to call and sort of deny him from making moves on me. And now he had the 4. So yeah. One lucky box. A profit for sure. So you would think. So this is one reason why playing out of position sucks. I've said it a million times. He flops trips, so he has pretty much the best hand, and he spent $1 value post flop. So every time when you hit your hand, if you're going to spend $1, it means that in the long run you are not making profit. So that's why you shouldn't play out of position in PLO. You always have to give up 1 or 2 streets of value. It's really hard to get 3 streets of value out of position unless it's a setup, which means that in the long run you didn't win anything. So making profit in the long run out of position is really hard. But losing money out of position in the long run, it's really easy. So I think we are going to have the last orbit soon. Table 4, I'm going to stab the pot. It's an imp pot. Oh, well, I was about to say that probably no one hits it, but this card raises again. Not sure what kind of freak he is. So Wabakan says we are making profit. Thanks for the support. VPRP 73 out of 26 hands. He's a friend. Oh, we happened to hit the last ace on the deck. And no action. I'm going to huff and puff until I get some action. I'm going to pot it from the bottom because neither one of these are regulars. They are both shorties and sort of bad players, so I don't really have to balance myself. And here, half a pot c-bet is pretty nice. Turn is sort of good for us, improves our hand. And when he bets the river, I'm just giving up. Oh, I'm so tempted to raise PT here. We turn the nuts and get the money in against big draw, and our hand holds up, and PT didn't have anything. One option is to call, but there are so many turns. If the turn doesn't improve our hand, we are pretty blindfold. And he's sort of aggressive. Pretty much the only hands we are afraid are set of 7s and 9s. And that line is, if you have a sort of aggressive regular, out of position, check call flop, and then check raise, sort of blankish turns, really buckers them. Because they think they can run over everyone, and then suddenly there comes check raise from nowhere. Wow, they got it in on the flop. This guy slightly overplayed his aces. And he didn't form it. What? He doesn't 4-bet aces when he is freaking 80 BBs deep. Short stack. Where is he from? Netherlands. Well, there you go. That's probably one of the worst ways of playing aces. Just call and create a multi-way pot. Then on the flop you have top pair, nothing else. Then you cold call, and then when someone check raises against 2 people, which means he has at least 2 pairs, then you shove. And kaboom, you hit 2 outer on the turn. Oh. Well, I want to play with this guy. I think Simius can even prove why you can make money in PLO. Because there's so many mistakes on that hand. Now there's probably going to be some lottery. And now he just folds. Oh my god. And I'm going to check raise V-stack here. I can get most of stacking, so he can call with just the flush draw. And he has 2 flush draws, and he makes the flush on the river. I think he's ahead, yeah, 53. So pretty much flipping for stacks. He had 2 flush draws and opening, there's no way he's folding it. So there goes our profit. Oh, clock is 11, so I think we are closing the tables. And we are having flips on tables. Wow. Too bad we don't hit on table 1. I don't know why Andy calls kings on the flop. If he thinks he's ahead of his cold 3-bet range, or actually it's not cold 3-bet, this is 4-bet, then why not shove pre-flop? So yeah, Andy played his kings badly. Either fold or shove pre-flop. So as 2 minutes ago we were thinking we made profit, we have lost 1.5 buy-ins after that. We might get something back on table 4. Let's see what happens. He's thinking so long that he probably might have aces with flush draw. But we have the nuts. Definitely get it in. Would suck if we call and turn is a diamond. And he folds, so he has nothing. And if he has nothing, he's not going to barrel us on the turn when we call, because the pot is so big that there's not much folding equity. Sorry for that. I'm not sure if we made a profit or not, because I can't remember how much we had on the tables that we closed earlier. We have definitely won some pots, but we have also split some of the pots and we have lost quite few big pots. Here the money goes in on table 1. I don't know what this guy is thinking. He's freaking put $25 in. Christ. Makes me mad when people play poorly. When they are not playing poorly against me. There's my poker tracker. Well, we didn't make profit. We were up $25 before the last 2 hands, and kaboom, we went down. So yeah. One last flip. Without it we would be up 50, but yeah. Down and up and down and up and down. And the result is minus $6. So pretty much break even. Which kind of sucks, but nothing you can do about it. There were a few hands on the outside tables where we had a strong hand on flop and turn, but the opponent made it on the river and there's nothing we can do. We just know that in the long run they are going to miss the flush draw 4 out of 5 times, when then we make profit. But when they decide to hit them more often, then you just don't win on this session. So on Friday we have PLO25 with Finnish viewers, and our English PLO nights follow the forum. Next Wednesday is off, but when's the next one? I don't know. It really depends what they do to my knee. If they break it badly, it might be that I can't coach for a few weeks, but we'll see. Check the forums, and thank you for this Wednesday evening. I'm Kyyberi, and this was PokerEyeMania.com, the best poker community there is. And if you are not a member, please join today. Have a good night, and bye bye.